Hello, Vernon. Thank you very much for joining me for this interview. I know you've been very busy with your schedule, so really appreciate you taking time out of your day for this. I wanted to interview you because I saw a post in the real world about your first 5K month. Now, that is really insane. Good job on that. Before we go into that, let's begin with how was your life before the real world?
Yeah, so I joined the real world way before it became the real world. I joined when it was Hustlers University. So that was back in like August 2021. So that was like almost over a year ago, essentially. So at the time, there were like 2K students. So it was
Mhm.
very small then, and it was kind of cool to have this like small demographic of people just learning from a bunch of millionaires. So before then, I mean, I'd had a few jobs, but I figured out that I didn't really want to work a job, and I wanted to be location independent. I wanted to make my own money online. I didn't want to wake up in the morning, have to drive to work, talk to a boss, be like, yeah, do all that stuff. I didn't want to trade my time for money. And before I joined the real world or the Hustlers University, I was super broke and I couldn't even make my credit card payments.
Mhm.
So I mean, I was living in my mom's basement too. So and I was in okay shape, and but besides that, I mean, nothing was really going for me. So when I decided to go full into Hustlers University into the real world, that's when I really started to make money. And I wouldn't trade that decision for anything in the world.
And how did you find out about at the time Hustlers University?
We allowed to mention Andrew Tate? Yeah, okay, yeah. So I watched his podcast, his first podcast on Fresh and Fit. So that was the King of Toxic Masculinity podcast. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I watched that one, and he talked about Hustlers University. I'm just like, okay, it's like a university run by millionaires. That sounds pretty cool. So I decided to join that, and yeah, that's kind of how it started out.
And here we are now. And why did you choose copywriting out of all the available methods out there in
All
the
the other methods
Hustlers
required
University?
money, and I had no money when I
Ah,
started
right.
out. So
Makes sense.
copywriting, you could start from zero, and you can scale to pretty much anything. So
What has your experience been with the material, with the copywriting material taught? What makes, in this case, the real world better than trying to learn yourself on the internet?
yeah. So in the real world, you have a millionaire professor. I'm gonna name drop him, Andrew Bass. He's the man. I'm gonna tell you that guy is the man. And you have this guy taking time out of his day. He's a millionaire. He's a multimillionaire, and he's taking the time out of his day to drop in the chats, to create lessons for the students. That like, and he started out as a copywriter, and then he scaled to being a multimillionaire, and now he owns some of the business. I can't say much about that, but he he he's done a lot of work, and really, it's just amazing that this guy, he takes the time out of his day to help people out in the chats. He creates lessons. He holds calls. He holds a morning power up call for everyone, and he drops like insights about how to stay more, how to stay in the game, how to not get burnt out, how to keep, keep doing your prospecting, keep doing your outreach and stuff like that. So I'd have to say it's Andrew Bass and even the community that make a really big difference in, compared
Could you
to,
go more in depth into the community as well, into that aspect?
yeah. So the community is cut up into, I'd say it's cut up into five or six distinct segments. So really the main four are the legions. So there's the legions, there's a captain, there's the apprentice who runs each of the legions. And in that, it's sort of like a tribe of copywriters and marketers who, we kind of assemble together, and we talk about new ways to, we got to beat the other tribe. We hold monthly competitions. Like fuck these nerds. We have to defeat them. How are we gonna do more outreach than them? How are we gonna get more clients than them? How are we gonna make more money than them? So it's that sort of competitive atmosphere. I would have said it's Harry Potter, but Harry Potter is lame. So it's much cooler than that. I'd have to say it's for making money and getting clients and really winning at life in general. And then one of the other segments is it's just the main boot camp structure. So we have a boot camp where it's like a 14-day boot camp where students who just joined the copywriting campus, they go in through the boot camp and they learn the fundamentals. Andrew teaches them the fundamentals in those boot camps. The Legions, it's sort of it's a little more advanced, but it's at the boot camp where people really learn the basics and the fundamentals, where they really get everything down. And like the boot camp gives you the tools, and the Legions show you how to work the tools to your best advantage, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And then the last one
And
I'd have to say is the experience chat, which is what I run. And I can't really we talk about a lot of cool stuff in there. I can't really say much about that.
yeah, fair.
So yeah.
And how long did it take you to become a captain?
So I was one of the first of so there were 3 captains in the copywriting campus at first, and I was one of them. So I think it was like December 2021. Andrew messages me on Discord when we were using Discord. So and he says, "Hey, I really like the stuff you've been doing for all the other students. You've been really helping them out with reviews and helping that in the chats. And I need somebody to create clips for me for these little like 1 to 2 minute video lessons for the resource channel." I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And then I created clips for him, on a weekly basis, and we got those pumping out in the resource channel. You can still find them in the resource channel. That's how I actually learned video editing. So, and then from there, he made me an apprentice, which is a captain, but at the time they were called apprentices. So, made me an apprentice along with 2 other guys. There's Chief and Hilltop. And I love those guys, but they're fucking assholes. Fuck those nerds. But yeah, super chill guys, super awesome guys. And yeah, that's really how I started out as a captain.
That was a great breakdown. I like that. So how much time have you put into copywriting? Let's say when you started out, how much were you putting in per day? And how has that evolved over time?
I'd have to say when I started out, I actually put in about 3 hours a day. And that was over the recommended amount, because I actually asked the same question of Andrew: is that how much time do I have to put in every single day to get good at this? And he said, "Yeah, it's just 1 to 2 hours." And I just decided, all right, fuck it. I don't have anything else to do, so I'll just put in 3. So it went from 3 hours, and then it kind of got to a point where I was doing 6 hours of writing a day. And then it's kind of fluctuated in between, but now I'm at a point where, whenever I'm awake, I'm working. So it's no longer that kind of thing where it's that work-life balance thing that people talk about that's super gay. I'm more just the guy who's just like, all right, if I'm awake, I've got shit to do. It's like, all right, I might be dead tired, but it's like, no, I got this and this and this. Like, all right, I'll finish that stuff and then I can sleep. And
And what about people who say who think it's a saturated market because of how many people are learning it?
I'd say that's a good thing. Yeah. And everyone complains or they whine about the saturated market, but I'd say that's a good thing, because if you're actually good at what you do, like I am, if you're actually good at what you do, then you're going to stand out. Like you're going to easily get the clients, you're going to easily make a lot of money in a saturated market if you are really good at what you do. If you have the skill down, if you're really good at it, if you're very talented at it. And all it can take really is a month or so of dedicated effort to learn that skill. You just have to really want it, and you have to really try to get it. And I'll be honest, like, you can't really fail if you just keep going. So
As long as you don't give up. Yeah.
yeah, you'll never fail if you refuse to give up. So
And as long as you know you're heading in the right direction, where in this case you see so many wins around you, so you know what you're putting time into is a valuable skill.
exactly, it's like I'm in all these other guys inside the university. They're winning, and there are chicks in there too. They're winning. They're making money. I know everyone in there is headed in the right direction. So all you really like, if you want to know the right direction, join the real world and you'll know where to go. And as long as you refuse to give up, you cannot fail. It's it's that simple.
Right.
So
And a great note to end it on. So thank you very much for again for coming on this interview. I'm sure it was very insightful for the listeners. Thank you for the time you took out of your day, because again, I realize how busy you are with everything that's going on. So really appreciate this. Thank you, Ronan.
thank you, Ruckus.